I kissed my wife's forehead in our darkened bedroom. She was lying there, ice pack on her head, curtains drawn. "I'm so sorry, babe," she whispered weakly. "This migraine is killing me. I can't even move." "It's okay," I said softly. "Just rest. I'll be back from Denver in 3 days." She squeezed my hand. "I love you. Have a safe flight." I grabbed my suitcase, closed the bedroom door gently, and headed to the airport. 2 hours later, I was sitting at my gate when I opened the home security app on my phone, the one connected to the Nanny cam we'd installed in the living room after our house got broken into last year. I wasn't checking because I suspected anything. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. The camera showed our living room, empty, normal. Then I saw movement. My wife walked into frame. No ice pack, no pain, wearing the black dress I'd bought her for our anniversary, the one she said made her feel too sexy for a married woman. She was on her phone, laughing, checking her reflection in the hallway mirror. Then she grabbed her purse and walked out the front door. 10 minutes after I left for the airport. I sat there, frozen, watching the empty living room on my phone screen. My boarding group was called. People shuffled past me. I didn't move. I just hit rewind and watched it again. My wife, the migraine that vanished the second my car pulled out of the driveway, the dress, the smile. Then I opened my laptop and logged into the camera's cloud storage. I went back 1 week, 2 weeks, a month. Every single business trip I'd taken in the last 6 months. Every single time, the same pattern. Migraine, darkened room, weak voice. Then, 10 minutes after I left, up, dressed, out the door. If you want to know where she was going and who was waiting for her, hit subscribe, because what I found on that camera didn't just end my marriage, it ended 3 others. My name is Nathan Cross. I'm 38 years old, and I'm a regional sales director for a medical supply company based in Austin, Texas. I travel a lot. Denver, Phoenix, Dallas, sometimes Chicago. 2-3 times a month, usually 3-day trips, sometimes a week. It's part of the job. I knew that when I took the promotion 5 years ago. My wife, Melissa, knew it too. "I can handle it," she'd said when I got the offer. "We need the money, and honestly, a few days to myself every month sounds kind of nice." She was a substitute teacher, flexible schedule, no kids yet. We were waiting for the right time. The travel was hard, but we made it work. Or so I thought. We'd been married 7 years, high school sweethearts, prom king and queen, if you can believe that cliché. Everyone said we were perfect together. Melissa was beautiful, the kind of beautiful that made other men do double takes in grocery stores. Long, dark hair, green eyes, a smile that could sell anything. I was the guy who somehow convinced her to marry me. I worked hard, provided well, came home every weekend with flowers or her favorite wine. I thought we were solid. I thought the migraines were real. They started about 8 months ago. The first time I was packing for a trip to Phoenix. "Babe, I don't feel good," Melissa said, hand on her forehead. "I think I'm getting a migraine." "You want me to stay?" I asked immediately. No, you have that big presentation. I'll just take some medicine and sleep it off." "You're sure?" "I'm sure. Go. I'll be fine." I felt guilty the whole flight. Texted her twice. She responded hours later. "Still sleeping. Feel better. Love you." When I got home 3 days later, she was fine. Bright, cheerful, like nothing had happened. "How was the migraine?" "Oh, it passed after a day. You know how they are." I did know. Her mom had migraines. Melissa had been getting them since college, so I didn't question it. But then it happened again and again.
Every time I had a business trip, like clockwork, a migraine would hit the morning I was supposed to leave. I'm so sorry, babe. I know you worry. Do you want me to cancel? No, don't be ridiculous. I'll be fine. Just need to rest. It became a pattern. Me feeling guilty, kissing her forehead in a dark room, her weak voice, ice pack, curtains drawn, me texting from the airport, her responding hours later with reassurances, and me coming home to a wife who was perfectly fine. I started to notice other things, too. She'd seem energized when I got back, not tired from being sick, energized, like she'd had a great few days. You seem good, I'd say. Yeah, I think I just needed the rest. Rest, right. The nanny cam wasn't my idea. Last year, our house got broken into while we were at dinner. They didn't take much, some electronics, Melissa's jewelry box, but it rattled us. The police suggested a security system. We got cameras, front door, back door, living room. I set them up, linked them to an app on my phone, and honestly, I forgot about them. Until that day at the airport. I wasn't checking on her because I suspected anything. I was checking because I'm a worrier. I wanted to make sure she was okay, that she wasn't lying on the floor somewhere, unable to reach her phone. So I opened the app. Living room. Empty. I was about to close it when I saw movement. Melissa walked into frame. She wasn't shuffling, wasn't holding her head. She was walking normally. She was wearing the black dress, hair done, makeup on. She checked her phone, smiled at something on the screen, then checked her reflection in the hallway mirror. She adjusted her dress, fluffed her hair, then grabbed her purse and walked out the front door. I checked the timestamp, 11:47 a.m. I'd left the house at 10:35 a.m. 12 minutes. I sat there at gate 23, people flowing around me, and felt my entire world tilt. My first thought was, maybe she's feeling better. Maybe she's going to the pharmacy. But the dress, the makeup, the smile, that wasn't a woman going to CVS.
I opened my laptop. The camera system had cloud storage, 30 days of footage. I logged in and started scrolling. 2 weeks earlier, my trip to Dallas. Morning of my departure, Melissa in the bedroom, lights off, migraine. 10:23 a.m., I leave for the airport. 10:35 a.m., Melissa walks into the living room, different dress, same energy, out the door. She didn't come back until 11:47 p.m., almost 12 hours. 3 weeks earlier, Denver trip, same pattern, migraine, dark room, weak voice. I leave at 9:15 a.m. She's out the door by 9:28 a.m., returns at 10:32 p.m. I went back further. 4 months of business trips. Every single time. Migraine. I leave. She leaves 10 minutes later. Gone all day, sometimes into the night. Returns before I get home. My boarding group was called again. I stood up, legs shaking, and walked to the gate agent. I need to cancel my ticket. Sir, the flight is boarding. I don't care. I'm not getting on that plane. She looked at me like I was crazy. Maybe I was. I walked out of the terminal, got back in my car, and sat in the parking garage for 20 minutes, trying to breathe. Then I called my boss. Steve, I can't make the Denver trip. Family emergency. Nate, the presentation. I know. I'm sorry. Send Rodriguez. I'll brief him tonight. I hung up before he could argue. Then I drove home. I didn't go inside. I parked 2 blocks away in front of a neighbor's house where my car wouldn't be visible from our driveway. Then I opened the camera app and watched. 11:47 a.m. Living room still empty. I waited. 12:15 p.m. Melissa's car pulled into the driveway. She got out, still in the black dress. She walked to the front door, unlocked it,
stepped inside. The camera caught her in the living room. She looked happy, relaxed. She kicked off her heels, dropped her purse on the couch, and walked toward the kitchen. Then she stopped, froze, stared at something off camera. Her face changed, confusion, then panic. She pulled out her phone, typed frantically. Then she ran to the bedroom. I realized what she'd seen. My suitcase. I'd left it in the hallway when I left for the airport. She thought I was gone, but my suitcase was still there. I watched her on the camera, pacing in the living room, phone pressed to her ear. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but I could see her face. Fear, guilt. She hung up, paced more, checked her phone, typed something. Then she walked to the bedroom and closed the door. I sat in my car, 2 blocks away, and felt something cold settle in my chest. Not rage, not heartbreak, clarity. I didn't go inside that day.
I drove to a coffee shop, ordered something I didn't drink, and called the one person I knew would tell me the truth. My brother, Kevin. Nate, aren't you supposed to be in Denver? I need to ask you something, I said, and I need you to be honest. Silence. Kev? Yeah, I'm here. Have you ever seen Melissa out when I'm traveling? Long pause. Kev? Once, he said quietly. Maybe twice. My stomach dropped. Where? That wine bar downtown, Postino. She was some guy. When? 2 months ago? I didn't think much of it. Thought maybe it was a friend. What did he look like? Tall, blonde, looked like a lawyer or something. Suit. I closed my eyes. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know, man. I thought I was seeing things. I didn't want to start shit if it was nothing. It's not nothing. Nate, I gotta go. I hung up. I spent the next 3 days living in a hotel. I told Melissa I'd decided to extend my trip. She seemed relieved. And I watched. I watched the cameras. I tracked her phone. We had a shared location app for emergencies. I documented everything. Day 1, she left at 11 a.m., drove to a restaurant in Clarksville, stayed 3 hours. Her location showed she was there the whole time. Day 2, she left at 10:30 a.m., drove to a park, stayed 2 hours. Day 3, she left at noon, drove to a hotel, the Westin downtown. She was inside for 4 hours. I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus, former cop, came recommended by a buddy who'd gone through a messy divorce. I gave him everything, the camera footage, the locations, the timeline. How fast can you work? I asked. He said, fast, but it's going to cost you. I don't care. 3 days later, Marcus called. I've got what you need. We met at a diner off I-35. Marcus slid a folder across the table. His name is Colin Bradshaw, 34, investment banker, works at Frost Tower downtown. I opened the folder. Photos. Colin and Melissa at a restaurant. Colin and Melissa walking into the Westin. Colin and Melissa kissing in a parking garage. My hands shook. How long? I asked. Best I can tell, 6 months, maybe longer. 6 months. Half a year of migraines. Half a year of lies. There's more, Marcus said. I looked up. He's married. Marcus slid another photo across the table. Colin Bradshaw, wedding ring, standing next to a blonde woman and 2 kids at some charity event. Her name is Rachel, Marcus said. They've been married 9 years, 2 kids. She's a nurse at St. David's. I stared at the photo. Does she know? I don't think so. I closed the folder. I want to meet her. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You sure? Yeah. Why? Because she deserves to know. Rachel Bradshaw worked the night shift at St. David's Medical Center. I found her in the hospital cafeteria on her break, sitting alone with a cup of coffee and a paperback. Rachel?
She looked up, confused. Yes? I'm Nathan Cross. I'm sorry to bother you, but we need to talk. About what? I sat down. About your husband. Her face changed. Who are you? I'm the husband of the woman he's been sleeping with.
Rachel didn't cry. Not at first. She just stared at me, processing, like I'd told her something in a language she didn't quite speak. You're lying. I'm not. I pulled out my phone, showed her the photos Marcus had taken. Colin and Melissa, the restaurant, the hotel, the kiss. Rachel's hands shook as she scrolled through them. When? She whispered. 6 months, maybe longer. She set the phone down. How did you find out? I told her, the nanny cam, the migraines, the pattern. When I finished, she laughed. Not a happy laugh, a broken one. He's been working late, she said, every week, sometimes twice a week. Big client, he said, needed FaceTime. I'm sorry. Don't be. She looked at me. What are you going to do? I'm filing for divorce. Good. She stood up. So am I. Rachel and I didn't become friends, but we became allies. She hired a lawyer. I hired a lawyer. We compared notes, shared evidence, built cases. And then we did something I'm not sure was smart, but it felt necessary. We confronted them, together. I told Melissa I was coming home early from my trip. I walked into the house at 2 p.m. on a Thursday. She was on the couch, watching TV, in yoga pants and a t-shirt. Nate, she jumped up, surprised. I thought you weren't back until tomorrow. Change of plans. She hugged me. I didn't hug back. You okay? She asked. We need to talk. Her face shifted. About what? Sit down. She sat. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera app, hit play. The footage showed her, black dress, walking out the door. Timestamp, 10 minutes after I'd left. Her face went white. Nate, don't. I showed her the next clip, and the next, weeks of footage. I know about Colin. She started crying. It's not what you think. I know about the hotel, the restaurants, the 6 months of lies. Nate, please. The doorbell rang. Melissa looked at me confused. I stood up. That's for you. I opened the door. Rachel Bradshaw stood there, and beside her, Colin. Colin's face when he saw Melissa was priceless. Pure panic. What the hell is this? He said. This, I said calmly, is the conversation you two have been avoiding. Rachel walked past me into the living room. Hi, Melissa. I'm Rachel, Colin's wife. Melissa looked like she might pass out. I think the 4 of us need to talk, Rachel said. It wasn't a fight. It was an execution. Rachel and I laid out everything, the evidence, the timeline, the lies. Colin tried to spin it. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. 6 months? Rachel said coldly. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Melissa tried the same script. I was lonely. You were always gone. I was working, I interrupted, to pay for this house, for your car, for the life you said you wanted. I didn't mean for it to happen. I faked migraines, I said. You looked me in the eye and lied every single trip.
She had no answer for that. Colin and Melissa both tried to salvage it. Therapy, counseling, we can fix this. Rachel and I said the same thing. No. We filed the next week. Both divorces moved fast. No kids, clear evidence of infidelity. In Texas, that matters. Melissa got nothing. No alimony, no house, just her car and whatever she'd saved. Colin's divorce was messier, kids involved, but Rachel got primary custody and a settlement that made him wince. 6 months later, I was sitting in my new apartment, smaller, quieter, mine, when I got a text from Rachel. Coffee? We met at the same diner where I'd first met Marcus. How are you? She asked. Better, I said. You? Same. We sat in comfortable silence for a moment. I heard Melissa moved to Houston,
Rachel said. Good for her. Colin's living with his parents. I almost laughed. Poetic. Rachel smiled. You ever think about dating again? Maybe. You? Maybe. We finished our coffee, paid, walked out together. At her car, she turned to me. Thank you. For what? For telling me the truth. A lot of people wouldn't have. I deserved to know. She nodded. So did you. I still travel for work, still take trips to Denver, Phoenix, Dallas. But now, when I leave, I don't worry about migraines. I don't check cameras. I don't wonder. Because the person I'm with now, when I'm ready, will be someone who doesn't need me gone to be happy. Someone who doesn't fake illness to hide betrayal. Someone who sees business trips as see you soon, not finally he's gone. The nanny cam is still there, still recording, but now it just shows an empty living room, and that's exactly how I like it. If this story hit home, comment, I checked the camera. If you've ever had that gut feeling, if you've ever been lied to while you were working to build a life, if you've ever found proof that shattered everything, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the moment the truth comes into focus. Because sometimes the worst thing you can do is ignore what's right in front of you. And sometimes the best thing you can do is watch the tape.